What is going on, guys? Cali J here, and today we're going to be going over some settings on Dayz. Now, there's not much explaining when it comes to the settings, so I'm going to try and do my best and help you guys out today. And this is a recap of the other settings video that I did, but hopefully this one is a little bit cleaner and it's more up to date. So let's get into it. Let's go straight to the options. We're going to come to the game tab. Now, language, the bleeding indication, and the connectivity warnings. So the language is, of course, whatever your preferred language is. The bleeding indication is going to be when you get hit and you have a little effect that pops up on your screen telling you which direction that you got shot from. You want this enabled for sure, because when you're out in the field, especially with these suppressed shots, it all makes a big difference when you kind of have an idea of where something's coming from. So you definitely want to have that enabled. Again, if you don't like that blood splatter or anything popping up on the screen, you can turn it off. It's completely your choice. Okay, so the connectivity warnings, you definitely want these enabled as well. You don't want to be missing out on any bad ping or bad signals that you're receiving, because when you're coming into a gunfight, etc., you want to be stable. You want to ensure that you're not going to have any connectivity problems. So keeping these enabled is just going to keep you up to date while playing, basically. Now, your field of view, you want this maxed out. Your field of view is quite important, so keep this maxed out if you can. So your HUD, this is going to keep you up to date with your character, but your HUD is definitely a benefit when you're playing, so I recommend keeping this enabled. Unless you want the more immersive survival style play, then you can disable this. But your HUD brightness, again, this is preference. This isn't really anything you need to be too concerned about. Your crosshairs, if you do have a server that does have these enabled, then I would probably recommend having them on also, because everyone else is going to have them on. You can disable this when coming into PvP servers, and it is going to make you an animal when it comes to first person. We've also got the chat box down here. We've got the game messages and admin messages. You want these enabled because you want to know when the server resets are, or if there are anything going on with the server, then these are going to let you know. And it's not that much, it just pops up on the bottom left and it's in red, it's dark red, so it doesn't really affect the screen too much, and it's fine. Now we've got the audio tab. The master volume is definitely something you want to keep at a high or maxed out. You don't want to miss out on any game sounds or effects or any explosions or voice chats or anything going on, really. So you want to make sure that this is maxed. Your effects also maxed. Music is a preference. It's mainly for the loading screen, etc. I don't think they've added too much immersive in-game music or anything like that. So it's definitely something I turn off, because when I load up, I don't like that. Mouse and keyboard is not something that I dabble with myself, so I can't help you on this one. But I'm sure that most of the things that are coming to play here are more or less the same. You're just going to have to do a little bit more adjusting. Aim assist is all for zombies. You don't need aim assist for players, because it doesn't work for players. It's mainly for AI. When it comes to the aiming also, I've always found that keeping my aiming vertical, aiming horizontal at a low, have always helped me within my long distance fighting and everything. Just I'm a very aggressive player. I can be quite hot on the sticks, so it does help me out. It just keeps me under control when I keep this at a low. Aiming curvature, best way to explain it is if we bump up the curvature to the max. Now, bumping up the curvature to the max, you've got a very sensitive stick. Like the slightest movement and it's on it, you know what I mean? And it's good, but then it's not. Like, you have to do a lot of readjusting and readapting if you want to get used to this sort of playing. And it can be very difficult when you come to your range fights. So you need to be able to stay relaxed sometimes. So keeping this at a steady level is going to help you out loads. Now, I tend to keep this just below the halfway mark, and it basically gives you the snap, so it doesn't continue fluidly. A bit more control, just a bit more control, if that makes sense. Camera vertical, camera horizontal, you want to be able to turn around quick enough. If someone is shooting at you, you want to be able to do that full 180, turning around quick enough to deal with your enemy. It's actually going to benefit you if you can play with these much quicker. You want to be able to turn around as fast as possible. Now, you don't want to lose any frame rate really when you're recording, etc. So I would personally want to keep this on selective or disabled, preferably. Now, If you want to come over to the vertical movement and the horizontal movement, however, these are just basically, you can actually have these fully maxed out, and it's just basically gonna determine how fast your player goes from walking to jogging on your movement stick. So you can have quite a sensitive stick where you only have to push it a little bit and then you'll straight away be jogging, which is, say if we max this out, I will quickly show you. Alright, so basically a tiny little movement there and I'm straight away jogging. Didn't need to be doing much for that. It depends on how quick you are as a player, what sort of environment you're in. You don't want it maxed out really, because you'll find yourself in situations where you need to be quiet, you need to be stealthy and playing a little bit more slow, and sometimes it will force you into a quicker play.
Now, just for those who are curious, here are some personal settings. Take the time to pause if you need to.
Again, most of these, they don't need to be bang on. They don't. Everything you adapt to, you adjust to. It all takes time and practice, and it's just the key really. It's just consistency, and it's just making sure you come on, get that time in. But yeah, apart from that then guys, I hope you all got something from today's video. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.